The devil is saying checkmate, but we are here to tell you that it's not over. Maybe they should help you in finding proper medication.
When he sketches you, sometimes you can see that he was trying to sketch you, but there is someone else in the image. What do you think?
He ate the meal. The whole week he was sick with diarrhea.
Hello guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Candid Conversations, where we learn, grow, and we get to discuss authentic conversations, honest with zero sugarcoating. My name is Nkosana Masugu, and I am with my brother
Ngobani Masugu.
Yes. Thank you for having us. So let's just begin. What do you think of this weather? I think this weather is getting too personal. I almost cancelled coming here because it's way too cold.
It's very, very, very cold. But I think it's the season. They say for everything there's a time and a season. But trust me, in Poland it once was way too hot. I think it was in the 90s, I think 1970 if I'm not mistaken, where tankers were even clearing snow in the roads. This is how bad it was.
Yeah, it was very, very cold. But as well, they say in Europe there is no bad weather, just bad clothing. So we might say it's cold, but if you put on the right clothes, you will feel warm.
Yes, with such a weather, I bet I can safely say that in Poland, Poland prisons, right? They can take prisoners out and consider it time saved in this cold because it's very, very, very cold.
It's punishment. Punishment.
The other thing, apart from wearing warm clothing, you have to drink warm stuff, lemon, ginger. That's what we are promoting. I have one request to those who have an agenda. There are some people with personal agenda. If you have got a cold and a flu, stay away from us. I always feel attacked. You are with flu, and then I discover after having conversation you start sneezing. I would have conducted it as well. So at least make sure that you keep even other people safe by taking care of yourself. It's not wrong to wear a face mask. When we in Africa, I would say, right, when somebody sneezes, we don't say na zdrowie. Here in Poland, they say na zdrowie. During COVID, I didn't hear people saying it. Because when somebody sneezes, you catch the COVID, right? Yes. So let it not be na zdrowie, but take care of yourself. Wear a face mask. I think there should be a regulation. What do you think? If you know the person who gave you flu, right, maybe they should help you in finding proper medication, something like that. Right, yes. Yeah. So with all being said and done, stay safe, dress well, drink warm tea,
tea, coffee.
Exactly, to survive, so to say.
Let's just dive into the topic. What do you think of this guy? There's this guy from South Africa, Rasta. He's a visual artist. This guy, when he sketches you, he takes his time, his efforts, he has his paintings and everything. But the end result, I tell you, when he sketches you, sometimes we can see that he was trying to sketch you, but there is someone else in the image. What do you think of this guy?
You are now reminding me of another artist, visual artist. That guy could draw you, like he was good at it. He was a guru, so to say, right? Yeah. So I wanted to support local talent. We always say support local talent, right? Talent, Yes, when I'm saying local talent, I mean people whom If I know that you are doing something, maybe you are a mechanic, I should bring my car. But each and every time we try to support local talent, we get disappointed. This guy drew my picture. If you look at the picture, it's as if it's my grandfather, right? It doesn't look much like me, but more of my grandfather, right? But anyway, I supported local talent. I appreciate the work that is done by artists, those which are good,
which are very
right.
Good.
Still on the point about local artists.
Yes.
I mean about supporting
local talent.
Local talent. Yes, we ought to support local talent, build each other. If I open a business, support me. But make sure that
Yeah.
the services are properly done. I just heard Dawini Prince, he says he went to support local talent in another restaurant.
Yes.
So they had cooked a cuisine from his country, Zimbabwe.
Yes.
He said he went there, with jubilance, excited. Let me try this meal. I think he's been in Poland for quite a long time. And then I won't mention the restaurant, right? He's saying that he when he ate the meal, the whole week he was sick with diarrhea. So he was complaining that in the verge of supporting local talent, he caught diarrhea because the meal made him sick. And the guy could not even sneeze for the whole week.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking?
Diarrhea, if you sneeze,
there is a waterfall, somewhere. We don't know,
happens.
but
Yeah.
if you cannot cough, you cannot
sneeze. Yeah.
Yes, and the other thing, your movement is limited, right? So we ought to support local talent. Still on artists, right?
Yeah.
The person you are mentioning, I've seen some of his portraits. Some they are good, some they are not that looking good, but at least I think there is something about artists. Artists communicate a certain message.
Yeah. Do you think these visual artists can be referred to as celebrities?
Absolutely, but in our generation, I feel like we give them little credit. We only celebrate the artist maybe if someone famous buys the portrait, right?
Yeah.
But many a times we don't appreciate. I feel like in some countries, maybe Europe, artists are the richest, but in some continents, I feel like they are not given flowers they deserve. As for me, how do you rank artists? What do you think?
Personally, what I think about these visual artists, I think they are good, but we cannot refer them as people who are famous, you understand? Because I cannot, personally, I cannot go and get an autograph from someone who's a visual artist. They are good, but we cannot rank them in the same level or in the same line as artists or as famous people, as celebrities.
The term artist in general, the umbrella term artist, it includes actors, it includes musicians, visual artists, so to say.
Yeah.
As for me, I put them in the same bracket. Musicians, when they are said, they try to communicate with us in a certain way. Maybe there is an awareness, HIV/AIDS awareness. We've got a famous musician who was known, he's late, Oliver Mtukudzi. He would put awarenesses using music. He was a musical artist. I believe that even in this generation now or in the previous, artists were communicating. They tried to share certain messages, but we did not understand them. There is more to a portrait than just a picture. To them, it speaks volume. When musicians nowadays they sing, they can sing about love. You relate to. I think it takes somebody with courage, with understanding of art, to understand some of their portraits.
I think you're right. Speaking of this, there is this artist Adele. The last time I heard of Adele's song, I think she was heartbroken. Of late, she's silent, but once heartbreaks hits in, she composes a very nice song that talks directly to us. So I can safely say you are right.
Not only to her, but there is someone who is facing the same situation, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe to validate my point, I am reminded of a French. The portrait they are saying it was in a French museum, but the artist is from Germany. I think it was in 1831,
yes.
Where he drew a very, very good portrait. Maybe let's try to let me show the portrait, so to say.
Oh, so you mean this one? I think I know this portrait.
Yes.
Yeah. It's in. I think it's allegedly in the one of the French museum.
Yes.
Allegedly.
To validate the point, I was saying that artists communicate certain messages with us. if you're just looking at this picture, you just say it's chess, and if you don't like chess, you're like, I'm out of this museum, right? I don't like this, right? But this artist, if you are checking it properly, there is the devil in the picture, and then there is man. There is this man, right, representing humanity, right? And then there is an angel that is watching the game. If you are studying the portrait closely, right, the man looks defeated, but the devil looks like he's winning. Look at the way he's comfortable, like he's in control, right?
Yeah, he's in control.
The humanity looks like he has lost, right? So they call this portrait the checkmate, right?
Yeah.
But if you are studying him, he called the portrait of chess players, right? Relating to today, right? If you are to check, you are like, surely mankind is failing somehow in this controversy between good and evil, right?
Yeah.
The devil knows that his time is short and he is fighting. If you are to check what is happening outside, people are crying. No one is happy, right? People are stressed, right? Just like the men in the portrait.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, the angel is watching from a distance. Sometimes we pass through certain situations and certain circumstances. We think we are alone. But let me tell you something. In that situation, angels are watching. You remember there are these boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were thrown in the furnace of fire. Mm-hmm. It seemed like it was 3 of them, but in the midst, there was a 4th man who was Jesus. So in this picture, you can safely see that it's a battle between humanity and evil, And in that picture, you can see that the angel is there. So meaning there is hope, and we are not alone in these circumstances.
Most people say there is light in the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
They forget the light that is guiding you to the end of the tunnel, because he has spoken that he will never leave us, right?
Yeah.
I will hold you with my right victorious hand, right? From the picture, some people were saying it's checkmate because it looks like the man has lost, right? But if you are to, there is this chess master, they call him, I think, Paul Morphy, right, from America. When he saw this portrait, people were saying it's checkmate, man is defeated, the game has ended. But when he started the moves in the chess, he realized something, that the king still has a move.
Yeah,
so when I'm looking at this portrait, I see something. The artist is communicating with us that despite what we are going through, divorces, heartbreaks, challenges, wars, other countries are having wars as we are speaking. People are not happy.
Yeah.
Financial battles. People out there, they are fighting a lot of battles, silent battles. When you see them smiling, you do not know what is happening, right? The devil has declared checkmate. But wait a minute. When the chess master was starting the pieces on the chessboard, he had to say, the king still has a move.
Yeah, that's true. When I'm looking at this portrait closely and I'm trying to examine it, I can see that, the devil is playing a long, cruel game. He has been in this game for more than 6,000 years. And we can see this in broken families. We can see this in depression. We can see this in addiction. But in that, the king still has a move. There are some people, we have lost hope. And I want to tell you something, that there is a move. There is hope.
The king still has a move.
The king still has a move. And you might be, I don't know whatever situation you are going through, but there is still a move.
When you are saying there is still a move, this is why I'm saying artists communicate, right?
Yeah.
The artist is just a symbolism of hope. So when I looked at this picture, I'm like, even if things are not going through, the king still has a move.
Yeah.
And wait a minute. You may be saying I'm living an average life.
Yeah.
He can move. The king that we are speaking about is God.
Yeah.
Jesus himself is saying, I'm coming soon with a reward, right? There is heaven, right? Maybe we can be saying that, so are we supposed to live a good life in heaven? Even here on earth, let me take you to Job. Job lost everything, but the king had a move. That move gave him restoration.
Yeah.
And whatsoever he had lost, he started recovering. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying he can take you out, he can move. Since the king still has a move,
Yeah.
he can move your life, which is average, from average to good, from good to better,
from better
to
best.
awesome,
from best to awesome,
from awesome to incredible,
from incredible to spectacular, from spectacular to revolutionary, from revolutionary to greatness, and from greatness to a super celestial level. No, the king still has a move, and there is hope.
It's now if you are understanding the picture more than I do, and you were saying you cannot take an autograph. So won't you take an autograph from Frederick, the German artist?
I surely can. Because if you look at it this way, if you read about Job, the story of Job that you mentioned, in chapter 42, everything was restored. So let me tell you something, viewers. If you have lost everything, your chapter 42 is coming. Restoration will come.
When Job was losing in the first chapters, Job has lost this and this. He has lost this and this.
Yeah.
When I was reading the book of Job, I read it twice. The first time I read, I felt sad. But the second time, I kept on saying, Job, wait, there is another move.
Yeah.
Because I knew that there is restoration.
Yeah.
So whatsoever you are facing, heartbreaks, divorces, you can name it, there is still a move. You are Ukrainian, you are thinking that maybe nothing is left of Ukraine. Remember Poland, what happened to Poland, Poland is now the one of the best countries in the world.
True.
It came from a history that was not good. There was a time whereby it did not even exist, where it was colonized, but look at also right now, right?
Yeah.
Look at what it is.
Yeah.
So there is restoration. At some point, the war is going to end, and you know what? This picture is a symbolism of hope. So let it change your life as well. Do not lose hope.
Yeah. In conclusion, when your strength is gone, the king has a move. When you cannot find love, the king has a move. When you feel like you are weak and the doctor has told you bad news, let me tell you something. The king still has.
You are told you've got cancer.
Yeah.
A lot is happening out there. The king. You are told that your friends are telling you that you will die alcoholic. They call it what? Alcoholic, right?
Yeah, alcoholic.
Yes. You don't have hope. You are in drugs, nicotine. We've got a lot of addictions.
Yeah.
The devil is saying checkmate, but we are here to tell you that it's not over.
Still has a move. Let's move on without wasting much of the time. What's trending, bro? Tell me, what's trending?
A lot. But remember, here we are bringing what is important.
Yeah, what is relevant.
Yes.
True. Did you read a headline about the transport system in Poland? I heard that if you are born in the bus or in the metros, you get access to free transport system in the whole of Poland for the rest of your life. Did you hear about this?
What are the odds of being born in a before a pregnant woman gets in the tram, the driver would the engineer would have left, right?
Yeah.
But I heard that it's something that's there. If you are born in a tram, in a metro, in a bus, it's for free. Actually, maybe before I make a comment, shout out to ZTM.
Yeah.
Poland is having one of the best transport system. I've been to the UK. I've been to the United States. Trust me.
Even France. I've been to France in Paris.
The tube in the UK, you are like, I'm in another place, we are not criticizing, but we are just saying, they are doing incredible job, sure. And it's swift, it's fast. I think right now in the world, one of the best.
Yeah, it's one of the best, and it's leading in the EU. And when I was checking, it's one of the safest, actually. Because I've never been robbed of my cell phone or anything in the metros. It's very safe.
You feel safe.
Poland Metro is very safe. Shout out to ZTM for doing a good job.
Then my comment now.
Yes.
I'm saying I would wish hospitals will also say so. Because we're all born in hospitals, so that we can get free healthcare. Maybe they did so because they know that in Poland you can afford, healthcare. It's unlike in America where you are even allergic to hearing the siren of an ambulance because you are like, how will I afford? right?
yeah.
So shout out, it's a good move. They are doing good. Then I also heard about the regulations. Did you hear about the new regulation, the new rule?
True.
Yes.
I was reading about them. I think they were discussed on the 20th of November, whereby now ZTM has tried to campaign and to
educate the society
that when you are sitting in the metros or in the trams, there in the buses, you need to just sit on a single seat. You find
in
some
2023, I think when I came to Poland, they are polite and impolite travelers, passengers, right? At first, I remember there were some people who would get in with electronic scooters.
Yes.
They will make it difficult for you, the space, all this and that. Some would get in with some, these rental bicycles, Imagine if everyone is in the bus, it inconveniences you, right? So I feel like they've taken another move, because when they banned that, I think it was in 2023, now they are saying no to impolite passengers. I've struggled sometimes when I get into public transport. You just see by the look that this person is saying, don't sit next to me.
Yeah.
I've occupied this space. Some they put their feet there. They sit in different forms so that you don't find space. And then I've also criticized whereby somebody goes to do shopping and then they start putting their bags there. You want to sit now, their bags. All this and that. Why not take public transport? I mean private. Right? So you are saying this regulation is saying no to that.
No to
right?
that. Yes, that's true. And shout out to ZTM, bro, because think of it. You are coming from work, you are very tired, you want to sit down, relax in the bus, and someone is just putting their bags there. I think it's a very good rule. It will ensure that we travel comfortable and you get to get the service that you paid for. Imagine you pay for a ticket but you cannot sit. It's very strange. But shout out to ZTM, they've made things easier for us.
The only way we can support is by buying tickets. I've seen some people being stopped without tickets. It's really, really funny. You expect the best from the transport system, but you are not supporting it somehow. True, right? Yeah. Buy tickets. Don't give those controllers hard time. Be responsible.
Speaking of controllers, bro, once they catch you without a ticket, you are in for it, bro.
You're speaking like you from experience.
I'm speaking from experience, bro. There was a time when I didn't have a ticket and those guys caught me, bro. When they catch you, they deal with you and they make sure that you pay a heavy fine. So to our viewers, make sure you buy a ticket. Let me tell you what I do of late. I don't use the public transport often, but I make sure I purchase a monthly ticket.
So you are just supporting them.
Just to support, so that we can have the best transport system in Poland.
Because you never know when you will use
it.
Yes, the only way we can support is by also becoming polite passengers, right?
Yeah.
If you feel like, there is you will occupy two seats, call an Uber, right?
Call an Uber, yeah.
Yes. No offense to those who've got different body size, right? You can see, some people are it's natural. Some people are they do not have a big body type, right? But some people have big bodies. I think there are special seats designed in front of the bus for such people.
Yeah, that's true.
For that one, maybe I think you can make an exception, because there is no way, if the person is too big for one seat, we can make an exception. But also I feel like they don't you think that they should also discuss about one thing? Because what about people who do not bath?
Hygiene, bro. Yeah.
Yes, hygiene. I've seen people like leaving the entire row in a metro, like 6 seats, they just leave them for one person, and that person will be willing to share, but because of the smell. We hope in the future maybe there will be smell detectors, before you get into
the bus. Yeah.
Yes, because it's about hygiene. That's true. Right? Yes.
And
no offense to those who are not bathing often, right?
Yes. And to our viewers, make sure before taking a bus, before going onto a public transport, you take a shower. You dress well. Because it's not
do
nice
not
to
litter the metro.
Yeah.
Let's just keep them clean. To maintain.
Yeah.
Yes.
And did you hear about what President Karol did?
Oh, speaking about the president
Yeah,
himself.
the president of
Yes, I
Poland.
heard about the income. Was it income
Yeah,
tax?
zero income tax. You know, the president has introduced a zero income tax for people who have 2 or more kids,
But you don't have
including the
kids.
adopted one.
Oh.
What do you think of this one? Zero income tax.
I think a lot of stress comes from mismanagement of finances. Let me not just say mismanagement. Sometimes it doesn't balance. You've got a family. You want to. You are left with you are operating at a zero budget, right? I mean, when you have cut the expenses, you are left with nothing, right? So I think maybe for those with families, it favors them because they will be left with something, right? Shout out to it, right? But my question now. Should I go and adopt?
Yes.
Maybe be my guest, you know.
I can be one, just to avoid, getting taxed more.
Because we all need, zero tax.
We need
right?
it for sure. Because
Yes.
if you look at it, zero income tax, it makes you have more take-home salary. It also reduces financial stress. If you have never been financially stressed, you won't understand what I mean. Of late, I've been coming across people. Someone talking to himself, bro. You think they are singing, but you actually see they are trying to calculate and balance. I think this new regulation by President Karol will reduce some financial stress,
Yes, but my question is, not only financially, population-wise, people will think of, because there are some people who are scared of having families because they think they don't afford. It empowers Poland, right?
Yeah.
You never know, in 18 years, maybe population will grow, military recruitment, no threats from other countries, if the military is good. Maybe it's another move to promote that. We do not know. But just a question, especially to foreigners, right? How does that favor those with? Does it favor those without family? I think it favors those with families.
Yeah.
I'm coming to my point. Imagine you are coming from Sudan. I'll give you an example, Sudan, right? Now there is a war. You are in Poland. Your goal was to come and study, right? And then now the tables have turned. Your parents no longer afford to send you money because there is war. Inflation, instability, right?
Yeah.
And then the best way you can survive in Poland is for you to work. Suppose you are working, but you are plus 26. Now there is no tax for, I think, tax exemption for students, right?
Yes.
But those who are above 26, that's where my question is. They don't benefit from this income tax because they are students, they don't have families, right? I think in future, don't you think that maybe not only in Poland but in the EU, I do not know whether it can happen, but don't you think that it would favor students if we say students who are above 26 who pay for themselves, if they are able to prove that they are paying their fees themselves, they are paying their rent,
their food,
they are responsible citizens, they are supporting institutions like ZTM who are giving us good transport system, don't you think that maybe they should be somehow, special reduced tax?
Yeah, I think...
apart from the one you get when you have a student card, when you are buying ticket to use public transport, I feel like we expect such.
Yeah, well, to be frank and honest, I think President Karol, he was just elected recently and he's bringing very good changes. So very soon, you might consider that. Let's just give him more time. This is the beginning. President Karol is bringing a lot of things for us.
So we can say fingers crossed. If you are a foreigner, you never know. Maybe in the future, such a consideration would come.
Yeah, I know it's out of context, but I want us to discuss something as well. I was speaking to my friend. My friend was showing me a message from his girlfriend. And, when I was looking at the message, I have it here with my guy. We were like, bro, do you think now there is genuine love? Like, is it genuine? Because the message that the girl sent him, bro, it was 98.8% AI detected.
So he had to take the message,
yes,
put it on AI,
on ChatGPT there, and check just to see if it's from the girl. And ChatGPT was like, this is AI generated.
Before we consider what the girl did, right?
Yes.
The guy has trust issues. why take the message and put it on chat to verify if it's AI?
Yeah.
But on another point,
Yeah.
I feel like love is something that is coming from the heart. It's genuine.
It's genuine.
It's not fake, right? So I feel like the girl did injustice.
Yeah, I think she was supposed to type on her own. It must come from within than to get these AI-generated messages. Of late, I don't read long messages. I remember on my birthday, I got another long message from my friend. Very long message. And I just read the beginning and the conclusion because I could see this is AI generated. So besides even like in relationships, even in friendships, you get a very long message, bro. I think we need to, I appreciate AI. No, I don't blame it. But I think we need to add in the human factor, the human
remember
aspect.
what I said in the other poem. We live in a generation full of smartphones, smartwatches, smart TVs. Everything is smart this, but not smart people. Prove us wrong, at least be smart, be original when it comes to love, right? Write something that is coming from the heart. It's not about punctuation. It's not like it's a email you are sending to your boss, right?
Yeah.
We can use AI in other things, right? But not in things like, in love. Express your feelings the way you are. Don't be fake, right? So maybe it has made me to think that people are in love with
AI, for sure. You can safely say it, but maybe to our viewers, I think you can drop your comment there and tell us what you think about these messages that we get that are AI generated.
And 98%, not even 70.
98.8, So you can tell us in the comment section there. And moving forward, bro, did you hear about this contest Miss Universe that was happening?
Oh, I did. Actually, I have a problem. Why call it Miss Universe? Does it represent the entire universe? When we are speaking of cultural, of the values, why call it Miss Universe? We should find another name. Hear my point. I have a problem. I don't have a problem with the contest, but they say Miss Universe, right? Yeah. Certain cultures or certain people are not represented. It's more westernized. I'll give you an example. It promotes, the typical model body, right? Growing up, we were told that somebody was we call it what? If you've got a
chubby, someone who's big, who's fat or something. That's what the word says.
That's what the word is saying, right? But in other cultures, I'll give you an example in Africa.
In Africa, yeah.
Somebody, they call it indlovukazi, right? Direct translation, a female elephant, right? They were the so-called typical women, right? That the society was praising, right? In Ndlovukazi. But nowadays, almost everyone is hitting the gym. They just want to look the typical model style, have a slender body.
Summer body, yeah.
Exactly, something like that. I feel like it is taking away our naturalness. So, someone will even to say, I have to win the contest by putting a Peruvian weave.
Yeah, or a plastic surgery, bro. They even go to extreme levels,
Yes.
Just to look or just to be affiliated with this Miss Universe contest because they have some standards that they have set. They are mainly Western.
You have to be comfortable to wear a swimsuit.
Yeah.
What in the Eastern part, there are some even religions which are against, seeing a woman half naked. Right?
Some go to the extent of covering their face. You're allowed to see them once you marry them. So we cannot really say it's a Miss Universe context, although they say it's a Miss Universe, because it doesn't represent all
the entire world. And it doesn't promote their culture. If I'm African, don't take the Africanness in me out of me when I'm going for the Miss Universe contest.
And then force me to put on some Western attires, so that I can be fit for the what? for the context. But that's
and
not
the
where I
other
was,
thing,
actually.
right? The body type as well.
Yeah,
right. There was Miss Nepal, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think her name is Jen. There was a time where
I remember that one. Yes.
she just went there natural with her natural body. People were laughing her.
They loved it, yeah,
they were
for sure.
trolling her.
Yeah.
You know. So I believe such contests like Miss Universe should unite societies, communities. They should not discriminate. You know, somebody shouldn't feel body shamed when you know, somebody who is short, for example, they shouldn't feel like we won't win the contest because we do not meet the criteria or all this and that. It should, these like sports, football, it's something that unites nations, unites people.
Whether you are short, you are fat, you are tall, you know, everyone can participate.
Is
you know.
represented.
I think that's what they need to do, just to accommodate everyone. These regulations need to be changed.
And then they were saying in this, I think they got a winner, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Mexico. But before mentioning about Miss Mexico,
I was talking about Miss Jamaica, Gabrielle Henry. You know, I heard she fell on the stage. Did you hear about that one?
From Jamaica?
Yes, from Jamaica.
Yes, I heard about that.
What do you think? Was she high on something?
Yes, high on heels, right? When you're mounting. Another thing, you have to wear certain shoes that make sure that you look high there, right? Yes, not high, the high, you know, right?
But the high.
Yes, Jamaica is well known for weed, right? Yes, not the high that you know, but we mean the high as in high heels, right? The other thing, maybe the stage was, you have to walk in a certain way. They say catwalk.
The catwalk.
Maybe the stage was cat intolerant. It was not cat tolerant. You never know. But I heard she went to hospital. We hope she gets better.
Speedy recovery to her.
Yes, and then I heard Miss Mexico finally won it after being insulted. Allegedly, they say she was insulted.
Yeah. Do you think was it a good decision for her to win, or they just said because she was insulted, let's just give her? What do you think? Is it fair to other contestants that she was given that prize or she won? I don't know. What do you think? Let's dissect this topic.
To be honest, I cannot speculate on that one. But if they said she won, she won. But, you know, it raises... we get to question, if the system treats you bad, does it favor you at the end? If you speak out, you never know. But maybe to conclude about this one, such contests should unite the nations, right? They should not discriminate. I've seen people, as we are saying, plastic surgeries. Do you know that nowadays people go to gym to fight for their bodies so that their bodies become slender? You know, this body shaming thing, you know, we are promoting it in such contests, right? And it has made me wonder. Some people feel better when they are, you know, in the gym fighting for their typical bodies than their marriage.
Yeah.
Some people won't spend money for their families or invest, but they rather invest on their bodies when they are doing plastics surgeries. What do you think about that? Is it normal?
To be honest, I think it's the world we are living in. You know, we live in a world where people, you know, I don't know whether it's about the portrait that we're talking about, you know, the great controversy, whereby people feel comfortable, you know, not fighting for their spiritual lives, not fighting for their marriage, not fighting
for their families.
For their families.
You don't greet your mother, you don't greet your father, but you greet the gym every day because you want to have that model body.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not good, bro. That's what I think.
Maybe if you agree with us on you can say something on the comment section. Is it normal for people to go to extremities? You are in Africa and you are buying a Peruvian weave. The hair is not natural. God gave you your hair. The Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made, tediously and meticulously made.
Yeah.
And now you are applying artificial, you know, to look the certain way.
Yeah, you know, some of them go to the extent of buying these things, you know, you call protein, you know, they go and buy these supplements. But the same man, you know, can be used for something else. You know, you find out that someone is buying protein, but they are not buying food at home. You know, that's how extreme they can get, you know. So I think this story of Miss Jamaica and this context as well, just trying to be relevant, changing your body and everything is not good. Because if you read the Bible, we are told that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, tediously and meticulously made. You know, we are God's crafted masterpiece. Yeah, I think that's all from us today. We've just reached the conclusion of our podcast. Make sure you subscribe and follow us. And please share this session with someone whom you think might benefit from this. And you can as well share with your friends so that they can be with us on our next episode. Thank you for tuning in. That's it from me. I will hand over to you, Robin.
You've said it all. We are about candid conversation, authentic conversation, honest perspectives. From streets of Africa to the cities of Europe, to the silent deserts of America and the bustling hubs of Asia. We are just bringing you candid conversations.
Yes, from politics to culture. You know, if the world is buzzing, we will buzz louder. If they are talking about it, we will bring it to you.
Thank you very much.